I'm cultural anthropologist, the employee of MuFo, the Museum of Photography in Krakow. I'm curator, the coordinator of exhibitions and publications. I came to the museum almost straight from the university with strong academic background in terms of visual anthropology, theory of photography, and visual studies in general. And at that time, I thought that discourse is the right language to talk and to write about photography, especially in such institutions as public museums. In 2017, along with my friend, colleague, Marta Miskowiec, we made this project that somehow shaped my way of thinking on photography and my practice. The project was called OSullivan, that means in English singularity, and consists of both exhibition and publication. We simply get through the collection of the Museum of Photography, as well as two collections of two very prominent Polish contemporary novelists, Jacek Denel and Wojciech Nowicki, who firstly happened to collect photographs, secondly happened to write about those photographs, and that was particularly interesting for us. We have chosen around 200 images and create this safe space for their free literary interpretation. We invited the audience to play with those images, to play with their memories, connotations, imaginations, fears, sense of humor. And main goal was to create this situation when you can once again, after 180 years, be sort of amazed and surprised by photographic medium. The first time I needed to work with the museum collection when I got interested in the situation of found photography. And this term found photography perfectly describes the big part of the collection of the Museum of Photography in Krakow. And we are talking here about thousands, about piles of pictures that are somehow abandoned, somehow random, anonymous, very vernacular, both professional and amateurish, given without any piece of context, without any piece of information. Just strange, bizarre images from the past. I started to collect those kind of images by myself. That's when I understood that discourse doesn't go along very well with this kind of images. And maybe we need sort of another language, more prolific, both for the pictures and for the viewers, for the spectators. I'm particularly interested in several topics, but let me call them in general metanarrative photography. That means photography that can tell something not only about its subject, but also about photography itself and photographic medium itself. For example, hidden mother's situation, photos of children with the traces of someone's adult presence, like this almost invisible hand here that holds the children because of the long time of exposures. Another topic that really interests me is postmortem photography, the topic I've been researching for several years, and my very private fascination. When I gathered the bigger number of these images, something around 1,000, I started to firstly, I noticed that there are four main types of postmortem photographies: the portraits of body, the portraits of dead face, the group portrait when family, neighbors and close friends were posing with the dead body in a coffin, and the third one, called by me the shots from the goodbye, pictures when members of family and the close one are just saying somehow goodbye to the dead body. By touching them, by kissing them. It's like very intimate sort of interaction between that body and the living one. Another topic is color in black and white photography, especially those pictures that are hand-colored in, let me say that, pretty odd, bizarre way. And this is purely aesthetic fascination. Another topic that very interests me on photography, and is kind of bizarre, because the one who works with archives know that there is not a lot of pictures of animals from 19th and the first part of 20th century. A lot of people photographed their dogs and cats in very strange way because those dogs were put on some sort of high table or chair, and it looked pretty bizarre. But the reason they do it was because the big cameras were put it on a tripod, and it was very difficult to photograph something on the floor. Now currently I'm working on a book, the collection of 15 essays and stories based on 15 different postmortem photographies. I think, in my opinion, in case of such obscure, such intimate, such delicate and fascinating, strange photographies, literature is a right language to talk about them. Is it going to work? We'll see, hopefully next year.